lies the road? Will it take me to the end? Well, I don't know. For one time, I'll take this ride and just drive. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light. Broken down, but I will live to fight again. One time, I take this ride. Just drive. I'm gonna be the only one to make it to the light. Take it to the edge where I die 1,000 times. Maybe I could be the one right to the setting sun tonight. There's a star that lights the road. Will it take me to the end? Well, I don't know.
Current specifications for our Italian series after opting to use the 2016 specifications for the 2017 season. Albert Park has the distinction of being the only
Welcome guys to the very first ERL World Championship. So bear with me 1 minute while I set up, get my system set up. So we have got 13 drivers, expecting a couple more maybe through qualifying. So it's quite a start for the very first race of season 1 here at Melbourne. And so we got the names of the drivers are as we are. Let's pull these up. So we have every driver starting brand new. Let's jump on Philip because he is on that lap. You can see the glorious livery of the McLaren there, which I'll be honest, I actually can't wait for February to kick off and we get to see the new liveries for the new year. Guys, just hit me with all your questions. GT Productions go and kick us in full intro. Thanks very much. I know we do Rebecca Black Friday, but because there's people racing over in New Zealand and it's not Friday over there. So yeah, that's different. So that's Brett. Actually, GT Productions is Brett. Thanks very much, Brett, for joining. So let's have a look at the who's who in. Right, class of season 1. Boom, boom, boom. So obviously we don't have all the drivers with us today, but we do have in the Mercedes. We've got Lang and Underwood. Lang running with the 88 car and Underwood with 13. The Red Bull is going to work with Church and Verkamp. I hope his first name's Dennis, because that'd be amazing. And that's with 25 and 34 respectively. In the McLaren, we've got Fisher in 23 and Dittmer, Jordan Dittmer, number 8. I've got high hopes for Jordan Dittmer if he does decide to join us. It's because I believe Philip Fisher's the one that we're on board with, and he is the first to do a fly-on lap. Obviously, I will be doing a lap run down later on. We've got Reese and Onstank, 66 and 98 in the Aston Martin. In Alpine, we've got Erskine and Appleton in the, with 15 and 99. In the Ferrari, we've got Evans, so that's Brett Evans, and Poland in the 97 and 7 car, respectfully. Quite nice to have the number 7 car back in Ferrari colours. You got Kraft and Din in the Alpha Tauri with 58 and 19. So Din, I'm going to have to support you, mate, being a fellow Scotsman. So I hope you do well. So you got, I do apologise for this guy's name. Aziraf and Tasker in the Alfa Romeo with 26 and 80. We've got Vedran, who's in the number 27 car alongside Kizona, or Kuchi as he is on here, in the Haas. And in the Williams, we've got Stefano and Zagato. So, guys, we'll say like so. So, we've got F4H who's jumped in saying, hello, I'm F4H. Hi. DJ Death Dragon said, evening. So, I just got this. So, Philip has put in a 1:18.5, as you see. A respectful time. A very respectful time for someone who's just got out there and got stuck in. And, yeah, it's a... This takes me back to when F1 was F1 before COVID, and where everybody starts out in Australia. So that's good. It's good fun. Let's see. On board with King. King puts a 1:29.4. You know what, Vedran? Let's see. Oh, commentator's curse, and it couldn't happen to anybody better. And with qualifying, because this is it is a one-session qualifying, everybody should be on soft tyres anyway. And with the new rules coming in, you don't have to start on the tyre that you qualify. This is we do want the telemetry enabled. We do want lap data, and we do want the full track map so we can see who's who and where they are. And look at that, sliding again. He's putting too much effort into getting to those corners. He's really trying to make it stick, and it's just not working for him. So let's have a look. We're going to have to do a lap run down, aren't we, guys? Right. With me. Right, so let's have a look. Who's on an outlap? Racing Good. He's on an outlap. Right, let's clear this away. We'll leave the his lap time on. So we'll get round to this as he's there. Now, there is corners that haven't got a corner name, so they're named after the landmarks in those within the reach of those corners. So here we go. As it makes the final couple of corners here. And he's on the start finish straight. Here we go, hammering down. Let's see how Racing Good, if he's any good at racing, can make it. So we're heading into turn 1 of Jones. Jones heads into Brabham. Brabham being named after Jack Brabham, a fantastic racer. Heading into the first of the DRS sections into Sports Centre corner of turn 3. This is one of the slower corners. Getting right slow down. Goes taking that car around. Heading into Helias. Here we go. There's the Sports Centre right there on the right hand side. Into Wakeford. Heading up to the Albert Road corner here, which is the park named after this particular area. And then round Marina into Lauder. Now Lauder is a sweeping right-hander. It's quite smooth, quite quick. Into the Clark and Fittipaldi, which is the soft chicane now that the course has taken since the change around the golf course sweeper into Waite. Now from that into golf course going into Hill being named after Graham Hill, not Damon Hill. Round Ascari, which actually it's one of the drivers between him, Senna and Lauder. They have the most corner names. And then round Stewart into Point, and then put from Point into Prost. And Racing Good has decided to throw himself back into the pits. As it did invalidate his lap, but let's have a look at who else is up there. So we've got Harley, F for H there. Lucky not to invalidate that lap there. So we do have a couple of reserve drivers here, so we may get them up in a moment. So obviously this is one of our reserve drivers here, F4H, and he puts a 119.499, which is a very respectful time again. So we do have some very good times here. Train game, woo. Right, Robin Kraft. I'll be honest, I love that guy's name. So following this qualifying session, we will have 29 laps of Melbourne, and I'm hoping it's going to be 29 laps of action. And Philip again takes a huge chunk of time off his lap time there and puts a 117.2, but I reckon he can get sub 117 in a few laps time. Let's see how Brett's doing now. Brett in the Ferrari. Now, the Ferrari is one of those cars. I'm not a Ferrari fan, I'm far from it, but that car's ingenious. It's absolutely spot on. The way it's been designed with those little buckets on the side, I think he might have invalidated. No, he hasn't. He hasn't invalidated, that's good. But it is yellow sectors in these corners, I think, because there's a slower car in front. But luckily for the qualifying on this game, that does not matter. Here we go. And let's see if Brett can get himself into a more forward position. He does improve significantly, but it's only 119.1. We know he can do better than that. He could take another. He needs to get another 2 seconds off there to be anywhere near Philip. Now Philip's really stuck a good time in there. Let's have a look. Can we find Flying Kiwi? Can the Flying Kiwi in the other Mercedes do any better? Here we go. He seems to. He's not going full pelt. He's half throttled. So I think this is just him getting back. Now King Uriel. Obviously I do apologise that we do have proper names for the drivers, and it'd be great if we could work out who's who. But we'll see how it goes throughout the season, whether we can pick it up. So guys, if you can't just jump in. Oh, so F4H is not a reserve, it's just, I do apologise. F4H is not a reserve. So I'm guessing the surname is Underwood. It's just your car number did not match what was on our screen. That's all. Sorry. Oh yeah, it does. It does. I do apologise. I do significantly apologise. It does. It looked like a different number when I was following you on camera before. Here we go. So I do apologise, F4H. I don't quite like that. I am not a reserve, sir. Very posh, very polite. But so you get a very posh and polite response. So, reserve drivers should be Rapple Racing, Thierry Delaney and Theodore Draghica, or however you say it. Draghici? Do apologise, I do butcher names, which I do believe is our DJ Death Dragon. Oh, I could be wrong. I am wrong. I'm always wrong, because that's Mitch. I do apologise, that's Mitch on Stank. I'm so sorry guys, I'm still trying to get round to names, because some of these drivers actually I have never seen before, like King Mule, never seen him race before. I'm hoping that he could be someone there who's going to be competing in the top. I know Mitchell on Stank is a fantastically quick driver, and he's one of these drivers that improves consistently, improving. So he's sitting here second now, he's just off by half a second. But by the time of the end of the season, along with a lot of other drivers, he'll be battling very closely for the podium, for the pole position. Brett's another driver that I've always seen improving consistently. Train game, woo! A great drivers. Again, an improvement now. Crutchy is one of these drivers that he's reliable. Such a clean driver. And that's how he gets. This is how he can get competitive, because he's so clean and he's so smooth. That's the hardest thing to find in a racing game. Now that he just needs to do is pick up the speed a bit, and he will be up there with the rest of them. Now, Polish Sniper, I'm hoping to see him out there racing good, out and out lap. Let's jump on board with the Williams car and take a quiet lap. So that is a 1:19.2. Now we can see that there's a lot of drivers falling into this 1:19, low 1:19. So we've got Brett, Harley, Jason Good, FH, all in that group. We can put Ives Apple in there, and I do believe that would be Appleton. Yeah, it'll be Appleton, and so we can stick himself in that as well. So these drivers here are in that group where they're going to be competing for points. They're going to be competing as well. King Mule, he's in there as well. So they're all going to be battling for that third place. If we're looking at this as what the chances are for the end of the race, Death Dragon has retired in the pits. So Mitchell there taking a break in there, and yeah, just really is. And Brett's done the same thing. Brett has retired in the pits. I will be expecting a lot of people to be doing the same. As it is. Oh, Vedron, he's really slipping around some of the corners. Still not been able to put he just needs to put a time down right now, and he puts himself in 12th. Here we go, right in the last few corners. There's the Scarry. How about Stewart? I do believe that was actually Senna, because it's Senna then Prost, if I remember rightly, rather than points. There we go. Let's see. He has put himself at 121.8. We know he can do better than that. We've seen him do better. So, King Mule. Oh. Can't take his curse there. Okay, if that there is showing exactly what you should do in a situation like that. Appleton, spot on with what he's done. So he allowed the two cars to go past him. Seen on the map that they're nearby because you could not see around that corner. So he's checked the map to see whether it was clear. And he did his 180 and moved on after they passed. Spot on. Exactly what we're doing. So a little pointer for me, I am going to be really, really harsh with these drivers because these drivers have experience of racing, league racing throughout. So misconduct is going to be harshly criticised by myself. And so rightly, some people make mistakes, yeah, and they hold their hands up, but yeah, I made a mistake, I should have waited, bam. That's fine. People do make mistakes. But it's when you see as well, driving over corners because they can't be bothered, retiring on circuits. There's some things we're going to make sure we keep on the eye on. So, right now, we're just waiting for the last few. I think it's just waiting for Albertson to get his car into the pits, as you can see. Let's get wheeled in. And there we have it. That is the end of qualifying. And Harley's throwing this to the chat there. First and second sector was shocking. So here we go. So I do apologise. So Phil is not Philip. I think it's just seen the LP afterwards and just went Philip. I do apologise. So Phil uses number 21 and not the 23. So thanks very much. This is what I need. I need guys to say, go, look, you've said my name wrong. It's this. Or it could be, right, you've pronounced my name absolutely shockingly. It's pronounced this way. Some people I just refuse to say their surname because I know if I'm well I can't say it at all. So, but thank you very much, Phil, for correcting me on that. Right, so we are going to be starting the race. It's going to be 29 laps. Is it 29 laps of action, or are we going to have the usual phase that we've like? So when I've commentated in the past for Brett's League, we've seen pockets where you go like it starts off really competitive, then you have a lull of about 6 laps, and then it's another competitive phase, and then a lull towards the end. And that's normally the pickup part is when there is the pit strategy comes into play, and people do think, oh, you know what, I'll drop down, and they've got to pit early, drop down, and you've got to fight the way through, or the pit late. And so they end up dropping into the middle of the pack and they have to fight back again because they're on stronger tyres. It's those kind of things that we're going to be looking at. And with this game, there is chances of having good pit stops and bad pit stops. Whether this has been implemented into the league, I will clarify that with Brett, but it means that we do have variation in pit stops as the warm-up lap commences. So it will do the rundown of so we have Phil in first place, followed closely by Mitchell, and then Harley Robin in fourth. We've got the guy's name I cannot pronounce, I do apologise. Aziraf Amril in fifth. We've got Tom Appleton in 6th. We've got Brett Evans in 7th. In the Williams, it's is this Mazzoni Stefano or Pietro Segato? I really do like those names. Such good names. Love a good Italian name, don't you? And then we do have FH, which is Richard Underwood. In 9th, we've got Kuchi, which is Martin. Basically very similar to our Martin. And then we do have Vedran in 11th. Flying Kiwi, which I do believe is our reserve driver. And a Polish sniper, which is Michael Poland, our American. Don't often see American in these leagues, but it's great that we've got one, as they are now starting to line up themselves onto the grid, ready to commence race 1, season 1 of the ERL. So we're just waiting for Michael there to catch up. Phil could have done with his teammate helping him out. So here you can see different strategies. So a mixture of hard, mediums and some soft tyres there. And there's 5 lights. And away we go. And this view is absolutely shocking. Here we go. As you can see, there's already some shuffling down, but Phil has got it, and Robin has managed to get himself 2 places up. Death Dragon must have been caught sleeping, as Robin and Death Dragon have basically swapped places. Brett has dropped 4 with his teammate who's gained 1 behind him. So not a great start for Brett, but again this is all good chop and change. The Phil under attack from Robin. Robin is our reserve driver. We'll see how the reserve driver reserve drivers go ahead, but it just means that this driver might need to be promoted to full-time to see if this performance outstands. So so we have a collision. That's Brett Evans colliding with his teammates, who's giving himself a 5-second penalty. Not too sure how that's happened, but it does mean that he does have a damaged front wing, so he'll be jumping in. And it's a full call. It's a virtual safety car. It's coming up with saying like each sector is separate, but the lights are saying VSC, and it's shown with the pace of the drivers who are unlikely to upgrade to a full. So if Phil's slowing everybody down, waiting for it to go green. And here we go. It's a long BSC. And it's gone green, it's gone green. The Polish sniper has retired. in the pits. And we do have the Flying Kiwi facing the right way now. He did have a little bit of a spin. But it's quite bizarre to see both Mercedes and the Ferraris down at the back. Phil leading the way. He's starting to open this gap up away from Robin in front of Harley. I think Harley's just waiting for the opportunity to dive in there. I think that's Crutchy that's had a bit of an accident. Or a slow moment. Very good indeed. So the 96 there, absolutely doing brilliant. So actually, I worked out that the Flying Kiwi is Richard Underwood. So FH will be our other fault driver, I believe. Right. I'll double check with this as we are looking for the next bit of action. Let's have a look. So racing good. But second, this is the load that we're going to be looking out for, because there we go, Tom Appleton defending like crazy against FH. There we go. Oh, what a Tom Appleton got a damaged front wing there, and because it's completely gone, it's going to make holding anybody off a bit harder. So Robin will be closing down quite quickly. And look at this, Crutch is right there with Robin all the way up the golf course curve, and he just backs off a bit. Now Brett here needs to be pulling off all the stops he can to catch up with these guys in front. He runs a little bit wide in that corner, but luckily he keeps it together. As you can see, feels very different going around these corners since the change. So Phil out in front, doing a spectacular job. That's dragging in second, and Harley in third. So we could see a battle for third if Harley does catch up with his teammate. Racing good there within that second gap from Harley and Vedran. Fantastic race at the moment for Vedran, up to 6 places. With possibilities for him to progress further just ahead of him. This early stages now, we are looking already at what we're going to be expecting from the season. So we do have a Flying Kiwi in the pits, and Phil puts a 1:21.9, the fastest lap of the race so far. And there's Flying Kiwi back out again, but he's going to come out in front of his teammate. We'll see him. There he is. Teammate gets to get past. So Robin's had a bit of a mare at the moment. So he's down at 9th. Just had a fantastic start, and now he's into the pits. And Flying Kiwi having a bit of an accident there. the number 13, which is the Richard Underwood number 13. Again, Phil's improving on his lap time. There we go, the next DRS straight, which I find quite bizarre to use this as a DRS straight, whereas I would have used, and quickly get speed in the pit lane. That's a schoolboy error, that is. Schoolboy error. And Harley, second part time. Let's see, the time penalties are going to start to add up now. So let's have a look at Brett. Let's see how Brett's doing. Oh, Robin loses it at turn 12. So simply, everybody loses it there at some point in their racing career, either virtually or physically. They lose it there. So Brett made great progress to get himself back in amongst the points right now. Let's have a look. So Brett's on the medium tyre. It's newer than some of the tyres in front of him. But Phil again takes up nearly half a second off that time. So he's opened up the gap to Steph Dragon by 8.5 seconds right now, and it's just getting further and further into him. Penalties, we've got 3 seconds for Harley, 5 seconds for Cutchy. Position changes, so Vedran's the only one who's actually improved significantly with the 7 places up. Racing good, up 3. Kimura. There was FH up 2, Cutchy up 2. Appleton down 3, Evans down 3, Robin down 7. Now, it's not like Robin to be down there. So, the bad one there. Looking to chase down the Aston Martin. Let's see if we can get anything that can happen for Vedran. As we come up to the moment now, we're almost a third of the way through the race. And we've had a few pit stops already. And look at this. Vedran's just reeling them in slowly. Gets a little bit off and reels them back in. Here we go. Starts to let them go a little bit. And now he starts to reel them in. Gets by the corner and lets him go. Holds him. Holding him. Let's go a little bit more. And I watch him go. There we go. Bring him back in a bit. Hold him. Let him go. And then you'll see the line in the So Vedran, he's in and about that time. And there is an incident as Robin has retired in the pits. As you see now, Vedran is a half, it's 1/10 closer this time round than he was last lap. So the move's going to happen in a few laps time, but is the pit stop's going to stop him from getting that move done beforehand? So Brett now catching up very quickly with Alberton. He is now up into 9th place. He didn't manage to get out of DRS, but he's now in within a second of Alberton. He just needs to keep going. Right on the other battle. It is holding around this as he's lost a bit of ground from the last lap, but is he able to catch it back up again in the next 2 corners? Let's see if he can actually get himself into position, ready for an overtake. As you see, that Harley's moved himself right over to the far right, tried to break the toe, and it's pretty much worked. As we do have a time penalty for FH, for which I would assume is track limits. So, but overtaking their teammates, so lapping the teammates. Oh, tell you what, that was lucky. It was just a bit of just a front wing. As the 96 car there kissing the wall. Here we go. Great view. I love this helicopter view. This needs to be on more. As you can see, there's Phil. Lapping. Speeding in the pit lane for FH. So Mitchell really put himself in a good position there. He's opening up a little bit to Harley from the last time we looked at these two. As FH is back out on circuit and needing to really put the work in now to catch up with the drivers in front. Here we go, let's have a look. So Phil out ahead by 10.6 seconds, who are Death Dragon, who's in front of Harley by 2.4 seconds, who's in front of Racing Good by 4.1, and then we got Veteran still trying to get past this Harley, sorry, Racing Good. Now, from our screen, Racing Good seems a little bit twitchy, and for a good reason. It is just down to the link. As you can see, there is a little fuzziness around him as well, as the move Vetron's just done there on the outside of Hill. Puts himself into a fantastic position. Moves himself up to 4th. Now, let's see what the response will be from Racing Good. Now, he'll have DRS. Boom, DRS is open. Takes off 2 temps. Vedron with a 3-second time penalty, but that is critical because that could be 2-3 places lost depending on the drivers behind. As Vedron is actually closing into Harley. Now, these time penalties do add up. So by the end of the race, some drivers have like 3 seconds, other drivers can have 9 seconds. It makes a massive difference at the end of the race. But right now, we've got nothing really that we're actually going to be key to watch right now. So apart from Brett Evans, looks like the next one to make an overtake, even though he is 2 seconds behind. That 2 seconds is slowly coming down. And FH as FH is out. That's another time on track for FH. Must have been an emergency, not to have a driver to do that kind of thing. Let's see if there's anything pop up in the chat later regarding that, but yeah, I don't believe he is the type of driver to. So, it does mean that every single driver here, if they finish the race, will get points. Good news for some. Great news for others. Phil looking to get top points because he's just taken the next fastest lap. It's a 1:21.1, 1:21, I believe, was it? Let's have a look. That's not what it was. So what? 1:21.221. I knew it ended in the 1. I know it's all just 1s and 2s. That's all. So let's see the difference from the leader. So we're looking at doing a 1:21 lap. So from front to back. So Death Dragon is 12 seconds from the lead. Red John is 21. Basic Good is 22. So, and then Harley is 36. So if Phil pits soon, he'll be sitting between Mason Good and Harley as the time looks at the moment. Kimura at 42 seconds, Appleton at 1:04, Brett at 1:07, Quitchy at 1:15, and then Flying Kiwi. He is over a lap behind. He's over a lap behind, but I think that time has just basically stopped. So there's our glitch. There's our glitch, because that's not moving. So we're going to see Phil lapping Crutchy soon. Just got a message of FH, if you want you can bring me into the commentary box. Just bear with me one moment. I would do if I had chance mates. I don't usually come out of the stream to add people, but what we'll do is from next week we'll have a commentary box chat set up, so for all the drivers in ERL to join them if they wish. When they drop off, and there's Phil making his first pit stop. And what it does mean is that the Flying Kiwi is now no longer in laps. So, but there's been no change on his time difference to the leader. Or anybody really. So the Flying Kiwi, we've got no real significant data on him. So here we go. Let's have a little run from back to front. So in 10th, the Flying Kiwi, almost a lap down. Crutchy doing quite well there. Stable, consistent. I've just noticed how very similar the Haas car is to the Ferrari. They've got the same kind of buckets. So, look at the Ferrari there. You see the buckets? The buckets are very deep in the Ferrari, but let's have a look. Get a nice angle on this Haas, and the Haas is the same. You can see it there. It's very, very similar. The vents are in the is slightly further along for the Ferrari, but my goodness, it's right. So here's a little interesting fact for you. So you got cars such as the McLaren, the Alpine, the Williams, the Haas. The Haas, you can see it more on the just look at the vents. Okay, on that Haas. No, not on the Mercedes. Definitely not on Ferrari. Not really on the Alfa Romeo. No, I can't see it on the Alfa Romeo. Can you see it on the Aston Martin? No, you can't see it. You can't see it on the Aston Martin. It's the back quarter, so you can see the black. There's Lang. I do believe that we've got some drivers. No, Harley's with the 88. So you can see some of the cars where they've got the black. It wasn't part of the original livery, and what it is, it was weight saving measurement efforts that they brought in throughout the season. So you see less and less colour and more black on a lot of the cars, especially the McLaren. Look at this McLaren. This McLaren did not look like that originally. It looked more orange than black. Now it's more black than orange. It's got a big chunk of orange on the side and on the nose of the wing. It's all to save weight. I would love to see what the Red Bull it looked like in comparison, because the Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo did not do the weight saving efforts at all. There we go. Kevin Vedran get himself into podium position. He's managed to get himself from 11th to 4th. Still a sub 120 race pace. That's extortionate. There we go. He had the pace. Oh, well done, Vedran. He's got to watch out for the retaliation. A little bit of touching, but all fair and love and war. A little bit of rubbing. I'm not going to say that's an incident, personally, because the first one was 50-50. You need to give a bit of space, especially if you're the chasing car. You've got to give more. You're the one who really needs to be given the space rather than the car in front. Unless the doors open, you put your body in, and then they've got to give you some breathing space. But only if you made it an efficient move. There we go. Around we go. But the retaliation could come back from there, Harley. Harley could be just going, right, up. There we come. The Flying Kiwi now has drivers coming catching up with him quite quickly, so Will needs to be getting out of the way. Brett's dropped down again. I think that's because he's pitted. He's now on the hard tyre. That could be him to the end. We have got 9 laps left to go. And it will be 8 laps soon. So we are near at the closing stages of this race. What are we expecting to see from the last moments? We're expecting more battling from between Harley and Vedron. These two drivers, I'd say, are quite competitive in nature anyway, and they are proving so with pace. And the Flying Kiwi went really wide there, and I think it's actually more so trying to get out the way. So this is not your place to get out the way. Now, the Flying Kiwi deliberately sped into pit lane. Not great. So Flying Kiwi is now back out racing again. Let's have him run down. So we've got Phil, Mitchell, Vedram, Harley, racing good. Mule, Tom Appleton, Crutchy, Brett, and the Flying Kiwi all running still. All looking to be getting the full points available. So we're not going to have any drivers dropping out, hopefully not anyway, at the end here, because these points are crucial. 1 or 2 points still. It's 1 or 2 points better than the ones who haven't scored any yet. So, Tom Appleton. It just seems to be in like a racing zone. He's just been overtaken by Phil. No, Phil is almost at that Andrew Lee gap pace. Oh, actually, I think Andrew Lee was much quicker, to be fair. But the Flying Kiwi he's lost it. So it's the safety car coming out. It's a full safety car, all because he's crashed. Right, so absolute opportune points now. As you see, racing good has put himself second overall. Oh, this is going to be an interesting end of the race. Okay, so safety car's out. Everybody's mixed up. Because Brett, who's at the very, very back, is going to be sitting there in front of Team Mule and behind Harley. So he's going to be sitting effectively in 7th in the row because Crutchy is actually between Phil and Mitchell. Phil and Mason Good, should I say. So I think we might have 2 laps, maybe 3 laps with the safety car. That was Mason Good almost screwing up there. So Brett is, I think a lot of drivers are low on fuel. So F4H has asked me Abu Dhabi 2021 question mark. Right, you are right, okay. Buckle your seats in, guys, because a lot of people are going to hate on this. So the car is on this lap. It's unfair. It was unfair. Was it Max? Did Max Verstappen deserve to win the World Championship? Yes. Just not in the way he did it. That's all I'm saying. It should have been voided. But then again, football match is not voided when referees make mistakes. So, here we go. And so, Crutchy is actually sitting there in that. Oh, Vedran's up into 3rd. And Harley's managed to get himself through into 3rd. And now Vedran's losing it to the 2 Aston Martins. A little bit of a love touch there by Mitchell to Vedran. Now come on, Vedran, you can do better than this, bro. As Mitchell is now there looking to get back at. Because Mason Good is losing pace to Phil, who's gone. And I say, where's Crutchy sitting? It's a 3-second time penalty for Phil, but it's not going to make much of a difference. Crutchy is going to be battling with Brett. As you can see, that's an Aston Martin of Harley. The Aston Martin of Harley has taken a bit of a hit and lost a chunk of wing. So here we go. So we've got Phil leading the way again. It's about to open up onto lap 27 of 29. So 3 laps left to go. Racing good. Doing well to hold off the rage that is Mitchell Armstrong and Vedran. Now Vedran is there, but we don't know what happened to Harley. Whether it's an incident that it might be reported that we don't know, but. Harley with 3-second time penalty. It's not going to matter too much at that point where he is, but he needs to be catching up with Tom Atherton almost catching up with Muriel. Amiral. Guys, you've got to let me know how to pronounce some of the names. So Vedran needs to find a way to get past Racing Good, so it doesn't allow Death Dragon to get away too much. And Vedran's taking it. There's a little bit of a move there. Gotta be the Williams has got to be careful because that could have caused an instance. Luckily, Vedran stayed in it, and he is much quicker. And that's a bit closing the door a bit late there, moving under braking. And the knock-on effect has caused Vedran, and he's moved right out the way. Well done, Vedran. You've got another car who's going to come right behind you soon. And you stayed right out the way. Well done. See, even though Vedran was battling for third. So Harley's actually updated me with what actually happened. So I had no space and basically got pushed off track into the wall. I know, basically got pushed off track into the wall. So quite similar to what happened to Vedran there. So these incidents are the stuff that the whole driving etiquette will come into play if they are reported. Racing Good has lost it at turn 12. Ah. Wow, as it shows the messed up wall. That was mental. So, Racing Good has actually now been knocked up, which actually means that if there's an incident actually reported, they can't do anything about the time penalty because he's DNF'd. But it may be on a penalty point system or a warning system, depending on how that's implemented by the stewards and the racing director and also the race league admins. So Appleton now really getting close to Amiro. This is a fight for P3. This is epic. It's the final lap, and this could be what's going to be the difference between being on the podium and not. And here we go. Tom a little bit too cautious there. Could have made that happen. But it is better to and maybe the hesitancy is what cost Tom Appleton that third place spot. Miro, quite a clean race for him. So in fact now we got Phil, who's took first place fantastically, well deserved. There was no question on who was going to be winning that race. Mitchell, well deserved second place. But it could have been a close battle between himself, his teammates, Harley and Vedran, if there wasn't any incidents in between. So Vedran spun. The issue is, if Vedran keeps spinning, now Vedran is the last to go first. Here is my issue, mate. So, what if Vedran now spins that much that Brett goes past them? So Brett and Crutchy are a fair bit behind. Right, so Vedran gets 6. Now, let's just round this race off. So, it's been an eventful driver of the day. Vedran, I can't give it to you for that last bit at the end. You would have got it. Surely, actually, to be honest, you do deserve it. You did do fantastic. So, there we go. our race winner, Phil. Oh, I hope that's not steering wheel that he's taken from his car. Because if it is, if that's the steering wheel he's taken from his car, which it looks like it could be, yeah, that would mean that he's broken park fairway rules. Not park fairway rules, the race director rules, which states that your car, the wheel has got to be placed back into the car prior to scrutineering. So he's taken the wheel with him. So I think that makes his race him out. He picks up first place and fastest lap. We've got Mitchell in second, Muro in third. We've got Tom Appleton in fourth. We've got Harley in fifth. Redvan in sixth. Brett in seventh. Crutchy in eighth. Our non-finishing racing good Flying Kiwi, FH, Train Game, woo, and Polish Sniper. Yet 13 drivers. Hopefully we get some more next week. Next week we are at Bahrain, one of my favourite circuits, and I'm sure to see you there. Until then, guys, there's nothing more I can say apart from good night.